Well, good afternoon from a very, very sunny Sussex in southern England. We're all on lockdown at the moment, but you wouldn't believe it if you looked out of my window. It's like an early summer's day. I don't know what it's like with you, Dave Lorenz from Pure, Michigan.
Same thing, actually. We're having a beautiful day. This is one of our first kind of warmer weather days. It's actually feeling like spring today. Michigan's one of those four-season states that occasionally gets all four seasons like within a couple of days. So we actually had some snow on the ground Saturday night, Sunday, or Sunday night, Monday, I forget. But it was beautiful to see, gave us that beautiful snow-covered look, and then it all melted away the next day. So it's all good. And speaking of sunshine, we really do need to look at the fact that this thing we're all going through right now is going to be short-lived. I know it seems like it's going on forever already. And if we all do our part, we stay socially separated and deal with this immediate pain. And I know it is very painful for people going through layoffs and furloughs and afraid of their jobs for the future. The fact is, here in America, and I'm sure the same where you are, Graham, we couldn't find enough employees before this thing hit. We'll be back there again. So we need to stay positive about it, realizing that fact needs to be on our mind right now. And the facts are that we will get through this, and maybe in some ways we'll be stronger for it.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting thing. But before we move on to that, I just wanted to make attention to the fact that you, as the head of Pure Michigan, should be very appreciative of the fact that I'm wearing a Pure Michigan baseball cap. I'm wearing a Shinola watch.
Hey, all right. It's upside down.
Yeah, I know, but I could go like, there you go.
Yeah, be too difficult.
And if I get very cold, I've got either a Traverse City top or a Mission Point from Mackinac Island top put on. But just as I said, it's very warm. It's interesting you say that in many respects we may come out of this stronger. I think from my perspective, I think there's a number of things that may happen positively. It gets a bit philosophical, so bear with me. One is I think people might appreciate travel a bit more. I think in the last 20 to 30 years, people have grown to see it as almost as a given that I could nip out, even from the UK. I could go to New York for a short break. Now, I'm not trying to do New York out of business or anything like that, but it's become, I wouldn't say mundane because I'm in the travel industry, but it's become the norm. And I think people have not appreciated maybe what they've seen. I think the other thing is it's a big jolt towards people taking climate change very seriously. But the thing I like probably the most out of what will come out of it is I think that people will appreciate local communities, local services, and that because you have a big salary doesn't necessarily mean you've got all the brains. It doesn't mean that you've got all the sort of the cards in the deck just because you've got a big salary. And I think those things will seep through into travel. And I think it may take more than 2 or 3 months to get back to where we were, if we ever do. But I think it will be a better scenario. One of the things that I think coming out of this is those destinations that keep in touch. They're obviously, no one's going to spend millions of dollars on advertising at the moment when no one's traveling and no one's allowed to travel. But those people that keep in touch will probably do best. Now, I know from having chatted to you over the last couple of weeks that Pure Michigan have slightly different attitude to some of the destinations in that you want to keep in touch. Is that correct?
That's true. Well, actually, we're operating without budget right now. We had some budget challenges between our legislature and our governor, and so we were just anticipating getting a financial package through just a few days ago when all this hit. So we continue to operate without budget. But I'll tell you, Graham, if we did have a budget like we typically do at this point, even going through what we're going through right now, we would have paused our regular marketing campaign, which is all about telling people about a beautiful place that Pure Michigan is, natural beauty, authentic destinations, real Americana, friendly people and all that, and welcoming to all. But actually, we would be out there right now because I would be telling the story that now's not the time to travel. And this is Pure Michigan's travel director telling you this. But there will be a time before we know it. So dream of these places that you want to go. Find those bucket list places. as you said earlier, this is a time for us to really have a pause and think about things seriously and better appreciate this world that we have and the ability that we typically have to travel all around the world to free places all around the world. The fact that I can come see you in the UK and you can come see me in America, that's pretty awesome. And that's something that's relatively new for human beings. You know, we weren't able to do what we can do now just a short time ago. And I think to your point about appreciation, this situation, I think here at home and where you are, will better make people appreciate the travel and tourism industry and understand it better. As we've gone through our budget conversations this last 6 months, there's been some conversation about, well, you know, is it appropriate for government to help promote tourism and blah, blah, blah. And I think that what came out of that is the fact that I had a real understanding that our policymakers and so many other people don't understand what we do. And they don't understand what the travel industry is. Because the travel and tourism industry is not just golf courses and ski resorts. It's just about everything that touches the consumer, just about everything. Restaurants and retail and then all the things that you come to expect. But it's about connecting people. That's what we do best. And what are we missing most right now? Yeah, the economic impact of our jobs and such. But deep down, what are we really missing right now? I think we're missing those connection points, those abilities to be with other people, often people that we don't know, have never met before, and will probably never see again, but an opportunity to be with them at places that are really awesome and where we can have that special connection, if only for a few minutes. That's what I think we as human beings are really missing. That's what the travel and tourism industry does. We bring people together. So I think there'll be a better appreciation for our industry in a lot of ways.
That's very good. I think that getting back in, if you like, to Michigan specifics, as you know, I was there fairly recently when I won the golf tournament.
That's right. Congratulations. I had to pull out early, otherwise I'd have been right there with you.
Yeah, I think you may have been. Yeah.
Had an injury.
You seem to forget I saw you play on the first day.
I know that was the injury. Just pulling out my golf clubs.
But Michigan is, from an international perspective, has picked up greatly in the last 4, 5, 6 years. People are starting to, you know, the comeback city of Detroit, but also, if you like, the shoreline destinations of Holland, of Grand Rapids, of Traverse City, and then you go up to the Upper Peninsula and you go to places like Mackinac Island. I mean, it is really a fabulous place to go. And I think it's, you know, when people start traveling again internationally, I think it's destinations like Michigan that may benefit, really, not just because you're persisting with keeping in touch, but because of the nature of the tourism product.
Yeah, it's true. We have this kind of unique 4-season environment because we're kind of in the northern part of America on the Canadian border. And because of that, we're basically halfway between the equator and the North Pole. So we offer all these experiences. And as we've been trying to work with our colleagues from all around the world, we've been trying to explain that we're not just the home of the American automobile industry. We're really proud of that. We're really proud of our manufacturing heritage and all that. But the reality is we have interesting big cities like Detroit that has been making a tremendous comeback. It's an awesome place to visit right now and always in certain ways, but especially now. But we offer all these outdoor experiences that are pretty unique. You know, you mentioned the shorelines. I mean, we have sandy beaches on one side of the state and somewhat rocky and mixed with sandy beaches on the other. The fact that we're touching on 4 of the 5 Great Lakes, and we have 11,000 inland lakes. We have millions of acres of forest with trails for hiking and biking and equestrian and, you know, you name it, various ways to be in our natural areas. And we're mostly a nature-based state. The Upper Peninsula of Michigan is a truly awesome wilderness just a playground for anybody. But the funny thing is, it's not one of those places where you might want to feel like you're truly secluded, because you're really not. It's a relatively small part of the rest of the state, but what it offers is big. Really awesome places like great waterfalls, 200 waterfalls to experience. just tremendous nature experiences and really friendly, interesting people with European connections, even more so than the lower part of the state. So we offer just about everything but saltwater and sharks, and it's a great place to be.
Good. Well, Dave, thank you very much. Please stay safe. I know you've got some other things to do this afternoon, and we'll be in touch.
Great to see you. Great to hear from you. And to everybody in the UK and around the world, stay home for a while. We're going to be fine.
Yes. Yes, David.